Yo, what up everybody? It's yours truly, Mr. Lang, Team Wash Life. How are ya? I wanted to show you real quick our water-fed pole setup. It's actually really cool, and I wanted to show you because I actually don't see, I did a lot of research trying to figure out how to do this. I didn't see many options. Most people don't run it the way we're doing it. They'll fill like a tank up with fresh water, with pure water, and then from the tank to the pole, or from the tank to the brush, they pump the water out of the brush. They don't bring their carts and stuff with them. They just carry fresh water and they do it that way. I want to show you the way we set it up, and it's actually pretty cool. So we have not one, but two Tucker carts on the vehicle. Now you could probably hear in the background this pump pulsating. That's no bueno. So I'll troubleshoot something to figure that out. But in the meantime, we're gonna just run it like that and hope the pump doesn't fry, you know. It's just unnecessary wear and tear for it to build up and kill itself like that. So let's start from the beginning. This is our buffer tank, okay? Hopefully that's not too loud. 65-gallon buffer tank. I don't even have a ball valve on it. I just have to come there. Here's the pump. We got the battery right below. Some alligator clips, no on or off switch. We just take the ground off and on to kill it. Okay. So out of the pump, you hit your three-way ball valve. So what we can do is run this pump and we turn it up. It's going to our direct drive power washer. The reason for that is this pump does not pull water. Also, the tank isn't elevated enough to set it up for like a gravity feed, so it doesn't pull water. There's a huge difference if this pump isn't on. There's a lot of stress on this pump. So this pump just gives it a boost into here, and we got plenty of flow with our 4 gallon a minute machine. That's how I do it. So that's what happens if the ball valve is straight up. To the side, like you see it now, we follow our 3/4 hose. We actually have a 3-way splice, so one of them is going to this water-fed pole, and the other one, you can't see it, but it's going into this water-fed pole. So this is pumping to 2 carts, and it's still doing this. And this is a 5.6, maybe not even 5 something, a little over 5 gallon a minute pump, and it's still struggling to push it through all this filtration because these membranes, it restricts the flow so much that it has a really hard time. So and that's with 2, keep in mind. I was hoping it would even itself out once we put the second one on there, because it was doing this with just the one, but it's still doing it. So in order to troubleshoot this, we'll basically need to put like I'm gonna look into it, but I think there's some type of regulators that you can like tone these things down. If not, there's the accumulator, which, you know, will build up that extra stuff that this is pumping. It's basically like a capacitor or something. Like it holds the extra stuff while letting what is needed to go through. So it's like a buffer in a way. But that holds another dilemma, because after a certain amount of time, we'll probably run into the same issue where it fills up eventually and start pulsating. So, so we got both you see where they both go in. They go in, one goes in here, the other goes in here. They come out here, comes out here. And what we did is increased, I should say, the 3/8 up to a 3/4 inch barb, or hose barb, which was really overkill, because if you see in here, there's a lot of air, because it just doesn't put out that much water, because there's so much pressure behind all this filtration. So you'll see like the air, it's just trickling in. So that's a bigger hose than necessary. You could honestly run 3/8 from here to here and be fine. So anyway, moving on. The outlet is where we have our 3/8 barb, 3/8 hose barb. So we run 3/8 air hose on there. We got probably 200 or 250 feet think it's about 200 feet of air hose, and we actually had to like mix and match. You know, we used some of this just because we were running out of hose. But 3/8 all the way, and then the last 50 feet is the smaller. See here for this reel. This reel is garbage. It doesn't swivel. I don't know who designed it, but they should be fired. This thing doesn't swivel, so if you reel it, everything undoes. So what we have to do is unhook it with a cam lock. We put a cam lock here, unhook it to reel it up, and unhook it to reel it out, and then just hook it back up. Otherwise, all this will just twist and unscrew itself. So let's show you what it looks like to the end of the gun. So we got Patrick over here doing the windows, but see how we just mix and match the hoses, because that's just how they were at the store. They only were selling like 25-foot sections or 50-foot sections and out of stock, and so it's all hodgepodge, but it works, you know, and we just get the 3/8 double barbs to connect them. So it's cool, man. We got 2 water-fed poles going, as long as this pump holds out. Like I said, it's pulsating, but it's all right. Well, we're done with this condo job. We just got to clean all these windows, and we got all 3 of these done in a couple hours, I think. So we're all right. Hopefully that made sense. I know when I'm filming and up close, it's kind of hard to keep track of where I'm going with it, but it looks like a mess, but it's actually really simple and laid out simple. So there's just a couple tweaks we'll do, but this is a window cleaning beast, capable of 2 water-fed poles, and yeah, that's about it. You know, if I had a shop with running water and stuff, then I would probably entertain the idea of just keeping like a 1,000-gallon tank at the shop and keeping these hooked up with the tap on all night, and keeping that 1,000-gallon tank full with pure water, and then all we have to do is transfer the pure water to a tank on the truck, and yeah. So I think typically like a 1.6. I think my guy Troy Galden, he's the water-fed pole wizard. He's always talking about water-fed pole this, water-fed pole that on the Facebook group Pro Window Cleaning. But he highly recommends the 1.6 gallon per minute pump for the window cleaning here. And but he wasn't doing the application I was doing. He was running a pure water tank just straight to a hose with the brush. He was deleting the whole filtration system on the truck. So I don't know if it'll be enough to push through those membranes, but theoretically I think it would. It just would need some time to build up and get all that air out and get the initial pressure and flow built up. So, I mean, that's for example, it's not pulsating on startup. Like for the first 5 or 10 minutes, it doesn't pulsate at all. It's only once all the air is out of the system and it's just pushing water, then it starts to struggle and it's pulsating and builds up, shuts itself off. But like, we're keeping a consistent flow at the end of the brush. The flow is just, the flow isn't pulsating with this. So it's a little confusing. Unless you have one, then you kind of understand what I'm saying, but we're good. I'm gonna get back to work. See you later. Yo, I gotta speak quick because I'm pretty sure my phone's about to die, but this truck setup is working out great. We got a condo here, park the truck here. There's 2 carts, so we got one guy doing water-fed pulling this whole unit, one guy water-fed pulling this whole unit. And the reason for this video is I was just talking about how this pump was pulsating, right? It was struggling. Well, it's because it couldn't push enough water through. So I got to thinking, these little flush valves, I was like, what if I open these up a little bit? Instead of being completely shut, just crack them a little bit. This allows a little bit more water to go through the flush valve rather than pushing it all through the filtration. And it's steady, pump's steady, and the guy said the flow is actually working better. So if you run into that issue, just open up your valve a little bit so some of that excess pressure can just escape. Had to share that. Pretty stoked. Wash life.